Welcome to another edition of the Roundtable. My name is Paul Dingeman. We're glad you are along. A Roundtable, as you well know, gives us a chance to sit down with some guests and talk a little more in depth about the subject that's important to them and important to you. That is no different today. We are honored to have the mayor of the city of St. Clair, the Honorable, I like that word, William Bill Cedar, and the Superintendent, big word there, Mike Booth of the city of St. Clair. Welcome, gentlemen, to the round table. We've both been here before. We're glad that you came back. The reason we had you come back is that there's a ballot issue in the November 3rd election, which is just around the corner. Talk to me about one of the words that the people of Michigan love, and that's roads. And I think that's what the ballot's about. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Before Mike gets into this, he has a slide presentation to, we hope, present this in a clear-cut, matter-of-fact, straight to the point way. But if you ride around the city of St. Clair at all, you know that the roads are in rough shape. And we also all know that the state legislature has not been successful in coming up or drafting some sort of relief for local governments. And even if they do, it doesn't look like it's going to be enough to do what we need to do. We have a couple of options. We can leave things as they are and just kind of do it piecemeal, and that is not really a good solution.
Okay.
But in November, we're going to ask the voters to renew an existing millage.
Okay, there's already one on the books that we're already paying for.
Yeah, we've been paying on it. It's already there. That's not anything additional.
Okay.
But we're also going to ask the voters to approve and give us the okay to levy or charge a 1.5 millage perpetual, meaning from here on until forever, 1.5 mils, which will generate, what's that number? $270,000 a year, which will cost the average homeowner $8.83 a month.
Oh my God, well, that's not a lot.
Well, it's not, and I'm hoping that the people will see from what they, when they drive on the streets, we need to do something, but we need the help of the people, and to do this, we're all going to have to come in together and just say, look, is it worth $8.83 a month to make these roads better? I believe it is.
The City Council has reviewed all of these plans, obviously, but they've talked about roads for a number of years, and there just hasn't been an easy solution anywhere down the road, has there?
No, if you just turn on the news, you'll see everybody in Michigan's dealing with this. Everywhere you look, potholes, bad roads, and the state's not coming through, and for whatever reason, they can't figure it out. So now we just got to take the bull by the horns and say, look at people, we need a millage. We're only increasing by 1.5 mils, which is, like I said, for an average home in the city of St. Clair, $8.83 a month, which I think is like $106 a year.
Roughly. We'll go over those numbers here shortly.
Yes, sir. Mike is the numbers man.
Okay.
I mean, it's all laid out there, but this is why we're here, Paul, to just make sure people understand and have the information.
Okay. Mike, you did take your time and you did prepare a nice PowerPoint. Why don't we start going through that? I know you got some pictures of some of the roads, and if John Rowling will throw that up on the screen.
Okay, we're going to start today, and we're going to walk through a brief presentation for the road millage for the November 3rd election. What we're looking at here, I have a few slides that I'll show you some roads. This road in particular is South 9th Street. You can see the condition there of the road itself and some standing water.
It's down near Fred Moore Highway, I did.
This would be, yes, between there and Clinton.
Okay.
This here is Cass Street.
Okay.
We've got a couple more here to show you. Glen Eagles up in the Highlands.
Mm-hmm. Some of those are really in bad shape up there.
They are in bad shape, yes. And this would be, kind of bounce past it here. This is Sinclair Street.
Okay.
So if you're coming off from Kearney Drive and head west.
Okay.
Okay.
And those are sort of representative of what you're seeing all over the city, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay. Just so the residents know, we have in the city of St. Clair 29.18 miles of roads. They're categorized as local streets, and you can see 20.1 miles, and major streets 9 miles. And obviously the major streets would be the ones that are more traveled. And
so that would be like Fred Moore Highway, 9th Street, Kearney Drive or the major streets?
Yes, and if anyone has a question where they fit in there, we're going to have some of that information up on the city website.
Okay.
And they can locate their street and see if they're a local major, if that's something they're interested in.
Okay, go ahead. Our clicker working? Okay, what's this? This is a rating system that you got from where?
City's engineers, Anderson, Eckstein, Westrick, put together just within the last few months a rating of all the city streets. And this breaks it down. You can see there's the 3 columns, and the first one obviously tells you if it's good, fair, or poor. And there's a numbering system, which the poor is 1 through 3, fair 4 to 5, and good roads would be 6 to 10. And you can see the good roads, which would prefer to have most of our roads in that category. 2008, we had 42% of the roads were considered good. You'll also notice that the totals for 2015, that would be for the good roads, has decreased to 23%. So quite a decrease in the good roads.
Yeah, that's a really staggering kind of a chart where you see that the roads really went from 42% down to 20. That's quite a drop in the good roads.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go there. Our clicker is not clicking. Yep. There you.
This is obviously more of a pictorial thing for folks to look at. And again, if you're looking at the Pacer ratings along the top left in the legend, you'll see roads that are rated 1 would be the worst, and if they had a 10 on there, that would be the best. I think we have one maybe that's a 9, and then you can see a lot of roads here that are in the orange, red, yellow that need some major work.
If they can look closely at their television screen, the green are the 9s.
Yes.
And I can pick their greens out. There's like 3 of them, 4 of them maybe. And the rest of them are pretty much orange or red.
Yes.
So we're in trouble.
We need to do some road construction work, yes.
Okay, keep going.
Okay, this here graph, basically what it does is, again, it takes the Pacer ratings and assigns some costs to making repairs to the asphalt and or concrete roads. And as you can see, if we fixed everything that was basically rated a 1 through a 5, we would spend in excess of $20 million.
Wow. Wow.
Very big number, yes.
Yep.
So that, again, I think just reconfirms that we do need to do some road work.
Okay.
Moving on to, I guess you'd say the millage, and I know the mayor touched on it earlier. He'd indicated that there's 2 parts to the ballot. It's one question, yes or no, with part 1 being we're asking for a continuation of the millage that's currently being paid. Currently we're using it for debt service, and it's 2.49 mils, and it generates about $470,000. And then just to clarify earlier, I think on the 1.5, it's actually closer to $280,000.
Okay.
If you add those together, annually we would take $750,000 that we could use for road construction.
Okay. You say debt service. For the average person, what is debt service? Is that like a loan I'm paying off?
What we did is back in 2006 and 2007, we had a road program, and to pay for the work that was done, the city went out and secured debt to pay for the roads. And from 2006 forward, we had a 10-year debt piece. So yes, like a mortgage on your home, that we have been paying off with the taxes that were captured.
Will that be paid off in 10 years?
That will be paid off in November of 2016.
Okay.
Will be the final payment. And then what we're looking to do is to take the 2.49 mils, instead of using it to service the debt, we'll use it to do annual improvements to roads.
Great. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, and then I think we, again, hit on this a little bit earlier, but the millage rate, the 2.49, it's actually 2.4902. And what we did is we wanted to provide for residents an ability or something where they could see how much, how will this impact me? Well, right now, you're paying the 2.49, the resident is. Mm-hmm. And for the average homeowner, which is the average taxable value is $70,641.
That's in the whole city?
That's in the whole city.
So some may be lower, some may be higher.
Yes.
But this is the average, 70,460, I can't read.
641.
641, okay.
641. So currently, those homeowners are paying an annual cost of $176 or $14, just over $14 a month
Okay.
for that.
All right.
Okay.
And the new part, the 1.5.
So we would continue that, just to make sure everyone's clear on it. We would continue that. We're asking for an additional 10 years on that. And then we're asking for the perpetual piece of 1.5, and that would be an additional cost of $106 or the $8.83 that Mr. Cedar was referring to earlier.
Okay, all right.
So,
All right.
okay.
All right, very good. What's the next one?
Okay, we'd like to kind of go over and say, you know, I'm sure some people are saying, well, what do you have currently for street funding? The City of St. Clair has some things that we do currently, and we'll go through what we spend the money on. But first, I want to start with the revenue side of things. We receive money from the state gas tax.
All right.
We have the voter-approved millage, which we had talked about to service the debt. And then we also, within the general fund, we receive an operating millage. And what we do is we transfer some of those funds captured in the general fund, we transfer them into the street funds to help pay for some of the services that we have there.
Okay.
And we'll go through those here shortly.
Okay.
Again, here's the three major revenue streams, and this is for major streets, and this is from our 2015-16 budget, which is the fiscal year that we are in.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see that, again, the gas tax, the property tax revenue, and the transfers in. This
Okay.
lists the amounts and the, as a percentage where the funds come from,
Okay.
or what they amount to, I'm sorry.
All right.
Okay. What do we spend those funds on? Again, the debt service, that's the big piece. So most of the property tax that comes in, most of it is used for the debt service. There's a small portion of it that people pay. There's a county road millage of a quarter of a mil. That makes up the difference between the 470 and the 485. And the big thing that we're looking at here is the amount that we have left after we do snow plowing, which is about $60,000. We have some DPW costs for the workers in this, and some maintenance cost. The amount that we have for construction for major streets annually is just over $100,000.
That's not a lot of money.
Not a lot of money.
Okay.
Okay. Moving over to the local streets, which again is the bigger piece of the pie when it comes to looking at the miles of roads that we have. For that, you can see the biggest piece of revenue comes from a transfer from the general fund, $180,000. Property tax revenue, that small piece there, 11%, that comes from again, from the quarter of a mil that's on the county capture.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have, again, the gas tax from the state gas tax revenue.
Okay.
Okay. Expense side, again, we have snow removal.
Why don't we just get rid of snow removal? Let's just make it a little warmer. Wouldn't that be great?
The kids would love it, no school.
Right. No school. Right. Right.
They say global warming, maybe.
Right. Right.
Again, looking at this, you can see that the construction, money we have available for construction is less than $60,000 a year. So
Okay.
again, that's more than, for those amounts, we're going to spend it, making small patchwork type
Mm-hmm.
repairs, not major road construction. So.
Okay.
Okay.
Doesn't want to click. There we go.
Okay, so what have we done? We have purchased here recently, actually within the last year, a crack seal machine, and we have started to utilize that.
How long does the crack sealing help? I mean, does it last a year, a month, 2 years? Depends on the road, probably.
Depends on the road, how bad it is, and
How much traffic?
depends on probably on the weather as well,
Okay.
I'm guessing.
All right.
We've done some small asphalt replacement. We haven't done them this year per se, but last fall we did several roads around the city. We need to continue that. The other thing we did was we did update the road ratings, and obviously you've seen the results from
Right.
that. Okay, what else do we need to do? We need to continue to the crack seal program, keep the water from going down below and causing more damage to the road surface. We need to do some more small asphalt repairs, and again, we do have some funds to do both of those currently. But what we do need to do some construction work, which is obviously needed, we need some additional funding for that. So.
One of the things, Your Honor, that happens when you have good roads in a community is that you'll have people want to live here. Maybe you'll have more people living in homes and paying more taxes, et cetera, et cetera. Is that true?
Well, you know, I mean, when you drive anywhere in this state, if I go to Detroit, Ann Arbor, Flint, wherever, if the roads are bad and you're driving, you notice that.
Yeah.
And I think it's a reflection of the community and where their priorities are. And I really do believe it is time for us to move on this. And I don't want anybody to think that if this millage passes, that we're going to stop looking for grants, because we're not. We're going to continue to look for grants. And if the state does come up with some kind of program, certainly we'll take that money, we'll add to this pot. $700 and some thousand sounds like a lot of money, and it is a lot of money. But when you start tearing a road out and do a complete reconstruct, $700,000 doesn't get you as far as you hope it will.
Oh, absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely correct. And when you see them tearing a road out, and you see the sewer work, and you see they were doing Range Road the other day, and all the efforts that they were doing, and all the bodies and equipment that were there, you can see where it would add up quickly to $700,000.
Sure. Yeah.
And what was the mileage? 28 miles of roads or more?
A little over 29 miles.
29 miles of roads that we have to maintain. So it's amazing. It's amazing. And let's go through when the election is again.
November 3rd.
November 3rd.
It's the first Tuesday in November.
Okay.
Correct.
And this is the only item that's on the ballot for the city of St. Clair.
That's correct.
I don't know, is there anything else on the ballot?
Nothing. Not that I'm aware of.
I mean, no school elections, no statewide stuff. It's going to be the only thing on the ballot. So people can vote absentee. They can vote yes, they can vote no, whatever they want. But they have an opportunity to review it now. The Times Herald and The Voice are going to do stories on it. We'll have this program on the air many, many times. So if they have questions about it, can they contact both of you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Call me at City Hall.
Okay. And I think
Talk to their their ward, their council people. We are all very well versed in this, and we should have the answers, and we should be able to tell you exactly, you know, here's what's going to cost, here's what the money we're going to bring in.
And this is where it's going to go.
This is where it's going to go. This is going to be for road construction, road resurfacing.
How about my road, though? How do I determine if my road is going to get done?
That's a good question. Here's the situation. We've got 29 miles of road.
Right.
To do every single road, this will not even be enough money to do that.
It was 22 million or something.
Yeah.
More than
We are going to have
20
to take and look at the 3 wards, look at the worst rated roads, and what our hope is that we will be able to look at each season, each spring, and say, look at, in Ward 1, 2, and 3, we can do a reconstruct in Ward 1 this year, and resurfacing in 2 and 3 for these roads.
Okay.
And then just keep moving through the wards.
Okay.
And I certainly hope people don't look at it and say, well, you know, 48% of the roads are poor. That's about half. If people just vote based on if they're going to do their road, they're not going to be very happy about it, maybe, because their road might not get done for 7 years out. But I hope people will look at it and say, look at, we all drive these roads. Our family, friends, relatives drive these roads.
Right.
Who knows who's moving in where and who's moving where and who's going to drive on what road, but some of these roads are just beyond the point of saying we can patch them up. They need to be reconstructed. Take a ride on Trumbull Street, and if you think your road is bad, check out Trumbull.
Yeah. Okay. So just quickly again, if I vote yes for it, I'm going to have $708,000 come into the city coffers, and it's going to cost the average homeowner how much?
It would be, compared to what they're paying today, they'll pay an additional $8.83 per month.
Okay. So
Okay.
that's not bad at all.
Right.
And as you said, it's not going to happen all tomorrow. It's going to happen over the next 7-8 years.
Yes,
So.
this is a process. You just don't do 29 miles of roads in 2 years.
Right.
You know, and the state is not going to just throw a bunch of money at all the little cities and say, here, you know, here's the easy way to do it. That's not going to happen.
No, they're going to take care of the interstates, and they're going to take care of the major roads in Grand Rapids, Lansing, Flint, all the metropolitan areas. And those of us out in the hinterland are going to have to fend for ourselves. So that's what you're trying to do.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Booth, always a pleasure. You did a good
Thank you.
job. Your PowerPoint is very well done, Your Honor.
Thank
Keep
you,
up
Paul.
the good work.
Thank you.
And that's about it for this edition of the Roundtable. As Mike Booth alluded to, if you have a question or you want to see this report in more detail, just contact Mike Booth at 329-7121 or Mike Booth at cityofstclair.com, right?
mbooth at city of
Booth at cityofstclair.com.
.com.
Okay. Till next time, Paul Dingerman, thanks very much for tuning in.